Hi, I'm Forrest Tanaka. Here in the United States, we're about to celebrate Halloween, which is a celebration of creepy, scary things. And so I thought for this video I'd have a little fun, and we'll do some paranormal photography. Now these are photos that I've seen some people take really seriously as evidence of ghosts or demons or something like that. But really they're evidence of people doing tricks or accidents with cameras. So we'll take a look at 3 examples of paranormal photographs and we'll just have a little fun.
You've probably seen it before. It's ghost images. Now, there's a lot of ways to do it. In the old days, sometimes you'd have a multiple exposure because you can expose the same plate or film multiple times and get this ghost image. And nowadays, a lot of them are hoaxes that you'll see nowadays, just done in Photoshop. But there's an easier way that you can do it completely optically, and conceivably it can be done by accident. And so what I'm going to do is I've got the light of a TV, I'm going to turn all the house lights down, sit on the sofa, have the shutter open for 30 seconds. I'm going to sit here for about 10 seconds and then just leave, and we'll see what kind of image we get. All I have is the light of the TV, and I'll start the timer on the camera. And see what happens. So I'll sit here creepily, and then I'll get up. Now this next one is probably not as common because it's usually pretty obvious how it's done, but not always, and it's actually my favorite because it's, I think, the creepiest looking one. Just have the camera on a tripod in low light and leave the shutter open for 30 seconds or something like that, and then walk around with a flashlight. Now if the terrain is particularly rough, then it looks creepier because the light probably follows the terrain. So as long as the light is low enough, your body doesn't appear at all, as long as you don't stop moving. Now the last shot that I'll take, the last paranormal shot I'll take, is of course a levitation shot. Can't go without that. Now there's a whole bunch of ways you can do this. The common way is by jumping in a way that looks really natural. But for this levitation shot, I want to be horizontal over the bed. And I tried to figure out a way to do that by jumping, and I just can't figure it out. So I'm going to cheat. You can see I've got a stool there. I'm going to lie on that stool. Not going to be comfortable, but it works. And to help with stability, I actually put a big board under the bedspread, so that'll keep me from falling over. For lighting, I've got the desk lamps or nightstand lamps. That's just really for the look. Most of the light will be coming from triggered remotely from over there. I'm gonna turn off the main lights. Oh, I'm in my pajamas. I figure I've been demonically possessed for quite a while, so I'm probably bedridden. And so I think that's it. Take off glasses. Oh, the shutter speed is set pretty low. I think about 1/15 of a second. That'll give a chance for the desk lamps to sort of burn into the image, but it shouldn't affect anything else. And let's see. Oh, take off the mic, turn off the mains, and take a shot. Okay, that looks fine. So now I'm going to get rid of the stool. And take another shot with just the bed. Okay, so got both photos. Now let's take them into Photoshop and try to get them together. I've processed the 2 photos in Lightroom to look pretty much exactly identical, except of course for me. So now let's take the empty photo and just drag it on top of the other one. And just let Snap align the two together. And I'll add a layer mask and and fill it with black to erase the empty photo. So now the empty photo is on top of the one with me in it, but it's hidden because of the layer mask. And that lets us erase selectively the stool just by painting white into the layer mask. So first select the layer mask, then I'm going to use a brush tool, and I'll just start painting in. Now, of course, the lighting is totally wrong, but that's okay. That's something we're going to fix later. And I'm just going to take the whole thing. Okay, now the stool's gone, and oops, of course it looks totally ridiculous. So now let's clean it up. So the first thing I'm going to do is fix my back. That was partially hidden by the stool, and there's a reason I wore black, because that makes this a lot easier. So I'm just going to select the layer itself and start painting in black. So there's the brush, and I'm just going to do an estimate of the shape of my back as it would look while hanging. Okay, and let's zoom in, and I'll sharpen that a little because the edge of my clothes is pretty sharp. So I'll use a harder brush like that and just ripple it along in a hopefully realistic way of hanging clothes. And here it won't matter too much. And now let's fix up my rear end here to sharpen that up. Oops. And I'll use paint a little black into the layer mask. There. Okay. Now let's fix up the other stuff. So what I'm going to do is try to replicate the shadow. So I'm going to use the original image as sort of a guide just by hiding and showing that layer, and what I'll do is I'll use the burn tool. Alright. Now just to protect it, I'm going to duplicate the layer and hide one of them. And then I'll start burning this layer. Use a soft brush, and I'll gradually darken it. And it helps to have what I'm using here, which is the Wacom tablet. Okay, I'm just putting the finishing touches on here to make a realistic looking shadow. And it really helps to have this Wacom tablet so I can adjust the pressure or the darkness based on the pressure. And so there it is. There's my shadow on the bed and no stool. And so there is my levitation photo. Now we can add a few things to it. Let's flatten the image, and then maybe add some to make it look like some photo taken in the heat of the moment. We can do things like add some noise like that, and then maybe give it a little tone to it. Probably not the black and white one. Let's add a photo filter to give it a sepia tone. And so there it is. There is my levitation photo.
I hope that was a lot of fun. If you search the internet for paranormal photography, you'll find some really cool examples of some really creepy stuff. I wouldn't worry too much about them because every case that I've seen has a very natural, scientifically valid explanation for them. Just use Occam's razor and you'll be fine. So I will see you next time.